My my response wasn't that bad. Like, I didn't use any bad words. I just scummy. That's the word I used, I guess, that triggered them. Feels scummy that CIG is sunsetting its ship content with full account wipes still on the table. We are still in alpha and people who acquired the Hornet Mark 1 thinking credits will lose access to the hard-earned money ships. This wasn't that bad. Like, this was a pretty balanced take. If it feels like I could have rewritten this first part to be a little bit softer, and I could have kept everything else. Like, this was probably what got me moderated right here. This word right here is probably what got me noticed. Scummy. I could have written this as, I don't like that CIG is sunsetting ship content with full account wipes are still on the table. I could have rewritten that like that, and I'm pretty sure this would not have got me moderated. But this one, this is just like me shit posting. Temporary until CIG sells enough nurse or rovers, then CIG changes position on medical bed responds, just like with the Ion and the Heartseeker. Nerf it after the plebs can buy it with in-game credits. We asked it assertions this nature of avoiding the spectrum going forward. No, I'll just take my assertions to fucking YouTube. All right. So let's talk about what the hell's going on with the Hornet Mark 1. So here we are at the Invictus page. Legacy of Service, Mark 1 Hornet. Bid farewell to a true legend. Ever since its debut in 2806, the Hornet has risen to excel in a variety of roles, from high-stakes reconnaissance to brutal dogfighting. However, recent escalating threats have pushed us to go further. Cue the F-7C Hornet Mark II series, which is now proudly leads the line of the UE Navy. While the F-7 Hornet Mark I has enjoyed a long, illustrious service, we are winding down production of this legacy chassis. Invictus launch week 2954 will be the final time the Hornet Mark I is available on the civilian market. For those esteemed pilots who have flown the Mark I to countless battles and adventures, this marks the unique opportunity to own a piece of history. As we bid farewell for this iconic ship, it becomes more than just a vessel, it becomes a rare collectible, a testament to Anvil's legacy. Join us in celebrating the legendary Anvil F-7 Hornet Mark I series with a special edition heritage paint commemorating historic moments of the past. Be among the few to proudly showcase this classic, sharing in the heritage and tradition of Anvil's storied past. They're removing it from the web store, so you will not be able to buy it with real money. And they're removing it from in the in-game shops as well, so you will not be able to buy it for in-game credits after Invictus. So this came out of nowhere, by the way. There was no like heads up from CIG like, hey, we're removing the Hornet. They actually increased the Hornet price too, not recently. The Mark I Hornet, before the Mark II showed up, they increased it like by $5, I believe. And the Mark II showed up. So it's, oh my god, we're still in alpha, right? We're still in alpha, resets are still on the table. It feels really scummy that CIG is removing a ship from the web store and from in-game. Never mind, like, the Mark II just being a straight upgrade to the Mark I, and they pretty much show that off here, where it's just like the Mark II is just a better ship. With the ascendancy of the Hornet Mark II, now the UE's premier carrier-based fighter, we bid for a legacy like Mark I lineup. Invictus Launch Week 2054 marks the final chance to pledge for your classic Mark I series, along with removal from upcoming in-game dealerships. So they want it to be a collector's item. They want that FOMO. They want it to be a collectible, so they're really doubling. They're really pushing this whole collectible, kind of like Magic the Gathering, where it's like, oh, this card's out of print now. You better hurry up and get it. Last chance. Oh, there is a reason to do this, Cylindros. It's money. Money is the straight up reason to do this. The Hornet Mark I series will remain viable and fully supported, receiving bug fixes and planned gold standard pass. I wonder, this is like the big, I'm getting like big Quadrant 42s coming out in 2016 energy from this the planned gold standard pass. When is that going to happen? Are we going to have that a roadmap? You know, when is the gold standard pass going to happen for the Hornet, right? The Mark I, or even the Mark II, because the Mark II Hornet was released without access to its internal base. You can't access the power plant, the shield generator, the coolers, the quantum drive on the Mark II Hornet. It was just shoved into the persistent universe. Same with the Lightning, the F-8C Lightning. It was just shoved into the game with what in a flyable state. Like, you can't access its internal component base. So according to the FAQ, if we go to the FAQ here, will the Mark 1 Hornet still get the gold standard pass and bug fixes? Yes. I mean, okay. Will the Mark 1 Hornet still be earnable in game? Somehow, but they're not going to talk about it. The Mark 1 Hornets will stop being available for pledge and purchase rental in games in an upcoming patch. I mean, I don't know why they're taking the rentals out, like Arena Commander. I mean, will it still be rentable in Arena Commander? Because Arena Commander is a video game, right? That's the in-lore reason why Arena Commander exists, so it should be rentable. However, there will always be ways to earn the Mark 1 Hornets in the future, though we're not quite ready to share those plans yet. So, they don't even have they have ideas, but they're not willing to share those ideas with us on how, like, obviously stealing the ship is one way of getting the Mark 1, right? Like, you find someone flying around with it, you disable them, you get the pilots, you somehow get the pilot out of the cockpit, right? The problem is right now, like, you can't, unless someone unlocks the ship for you, you can't get into the cockpit of a single-seat fighter. So, obviously, they need to have some sort of tech where you're allowed to access the ship, like a hacking minigame or something, where you could pop the hatch open, and then you could get in. The other problem is, how do you get someone out of a single-seat fighter who doesn't want to get out? Right? You need some sort of can opener to open the hatch and pull someone out of a cockpit of like a Gladius or an Arrow or a Hornet. Because there's no way to do that right now. I mean, if the canopy's down and the shields are up, like, you can't, unless you glitch the gun through the canopy and like shoot the person. That was like an old solution to steal someone's ship, but again, there's no way to like fly a single seat ship that you don't own. You either have to rent it, you have to buy it for real money, or you have to buy it for in-game credits. Or someone has to spawn it for you, get in the pilot seat, unlock it using the button in the cockpit, and then get out and let you get back in, like let you in. There is no way to like claim a ship that isn't yours. At least single seat ships, multi seat like ships that have internal compartments, like the Vanguard, the Connie. If you can get inside the ship and get access to the pilot seat, you could just fly them, no problem. It's a little different for like the Mark 1 Hornet. So obviously CIG needs to work on that technology, whatever the hell that is. Will the Mark 1 Hornet's bespoke mounts be still earnable in game? Yes, but they'll be limited and reduced in supply. So, just like the other ships, there'll be ways to earn these in the future in planning. I'd imagine like junkyards would have them. Like, you'd be able to come across like, I don't know, Dumper's Depot or something, and occasionally you'll find like a Mark 1 turret mount in like a bad condition that you can probably repair up a little bit. Or crafting, right? You'd be able to manufacture them if you find the blueprints. Because CIG said we'd be able to build anything, like even ships. Right? So if we could build, like, if we can get the blueprints for a Mark 1 Hornet, we should be able to build them. Why not? And then sell them to other players. But yeah, that kind of irritates me too, Zillandros, like having limited edition Electrons. Even just having, like, the Javelin be limited to supply, right, is kind of silly to me. Will there be a Mark 2 Hornet variant corresponding to each Mark 1 variant? Yes. So there's going to be the F7C Ghost. So F7C Mark II Ghost, F7C Mark II Tracker, F7C Mark II Super Hornet, which I already have the Mark II C, and I have an upgrade for the Mark II C to the F7A Mark II. So if I wanted F7C Mark II M, or F7CM Mark II, like, it's going to cost me even more money. And it's just like, I already have a Mark 1M, and if I want a Mark 2M, I have to spend even more money. It's like, oh my god. I mean, limited edition skins, I understand. Like, that kind of FOMO, I was like, okay, whatever. It's cosmetic. I'm not really big into stuff, but I understand some people complain about that stuff too, because they want to, you know, kind of dress themselves up or make their stuff look pretty, and having limited edition shit that, like, battle passes, for example, that you can't go back and redo. I think Fortnite does that crap. Like, if you want to get everything for a certain season. You had to have played during that season. But if you didn't play, if you didn't even have Fortnite installed for those seasons, like you got into Fortnite well after the season that had the stuff you wanted in it, there's no way to go back and get that stuff. Will we have in-game events that allow others the Mark 1 variants to get a free Mark 2 upgrade? Maybe. There are immediate plans to this effect. There may be opportunities to earn upgrades in the future. How will this sunset affect Mark 1 Hornets tuning and balancing in game? All ships, available for pledge or not, will continue to be tuned in according to the role and function of the verse. If I exchange Mark 1 Hornets in my web hanger, can I buy it back later? Yes. You'll be able to buy back your pledge. Can existing Mark 1 Hornet upgrades be used or bought back after the sunset? Yes. You can still buy back and apply your existing Mark 1 Hornet upgrades. So if you have a cross-chassis upgrade from a 300i to a Hornet to a Mark 1 Hornet now, you could still use it. And if you melt it, you could still buy it back. And if you had a Mark 1 Hornet in your hangar and you melted it, you could still buy it back, the Mark 1 Hornet. So they're not changing how the cross-chassis upgrade system works or how the buyback system works. It's just you're not going to have access to, after Invictus this year, you're not going to have access to the Mark 1 Hornet on the web store or in-game. So you won't be able to buy any cross-chassis upgrades to the Mark 1, I believe. And you won't be able to buy any Mark 1 Hornets on the web store as well. So upgrading to the Mark 1 Hornet or buying a Mark 1 Hornet on the web store just isn't going to happen. So, can the Mark 1 Hornet still be upgraded to other ships? Yes. So you'll be able to upgrade from the Mark 1 Hornet. You won't be able to upgrade to the Mark 1 Hornet after Invictus because it's not going to exist on the web store. Who is eligible for the free Killian Blue Mark 1 Hornet paint? Pilots who have the Hornet Mark 1 in their hangar before today's announcement will receive the complimentary Killian Blue paint as a thank you for their patronage. And this announcement came out of nowhere. I didn't see this shit coming. I haven't seen any hide nor hair of CIG planning to sunset any ships. And again, what makes this scummy is that we're still in alpha. We're nowhere near beta. We still have wipes on the table. So if you earned a Hornet in game, if you earned a Hornet, if you earned enough credits to buy a Hornet Mark 1 in game, you're potentially going to lose that in a wipe coming up. So, and this also puts on the table like the idea of that other ships can be sunsetted. I mean, it doesn't feel like the right time to sunset ships, but obviously CIG doesn't fucking care. And it also scummy that the Mark II was released to replace the Mark 1. When, CIG's done selling the Mark 1 Hornet, right? No one's, who the fuck is buying the Mark 1 Hornet on the web store anymore, right? Everybody's kind of like upgraded to the fighters they want to keep, and then you just earn, in-game credits. But they made that even harder because with the release of 323, they increased the cost of ships across the board dramatically to some effect, right? I think beta would have been a better chance, right? When Star Citizen got to the point where you weren't going to reset players' accounts. Players, whatever purchase they made was going to be permanent. I think that was the correct time to sunset stuff, if you were going to do it. But obviously CIG wants to sell more of the Mark IIs and more of the Mark 1s. And so using this FOMO as a platform to convince people that ships are collector's items, just like trading cards, because they want to get into that people to collect ships like that trading card mentality, right? They want to lean heavily into that. Oh, it's not available anymore. You better get it. It's special. So ships like the Wildfire, and this is going to help like the gray market too. People who are buying, selling ships off of like eBay and whatnot, because now the Mark 1 can't be acquired legitimately in game without stealing it or something, because you can't steal them right now in the current development. So if you want a Mark 1 Hornet, you have to go to eBay now, or you have to directly buy it from someone else if you know a ship dealer or somebody. So now, like, thanks CIG, like my Mark 1 Hornet, my Super Hornet now is now worth even more money. It's worth more than it was on the web store in a cross chassis upgrade. I could just sell it for real money now, even though that's against terms of service. If anybody wants, I'm gonna keep my Super Hornet. But yeah, if I want to upgrade to a different ship, it'd probably be better money-wise for me to sell my Super Hornet to a ship dealer, or just straight up sell it on eBay, and then use that cash to buy something else, because I'll get more money that way than using the cross-chassis upgrade system, because it's worth more on eBay than it is to CIG's web store. So Bamboozle Ballette brings up basically what I'm talking about. Bamboozle Ballette says, I like my Heartseeker and Ghost, but I don't fly them up much. I wonder if they'll become lucrative on the gray market. Yeah, this is exactly what CIG is doing. Ships like the Heartseeker and ships like the Wildfire are going to become a lot more desirable on the gray market, so the price is going to go up. Because you can't... How do you transfer a ship to another person? Sure, I can show you how to do that right now. You go to robertspaceindustries.com. You go to your account. You go to your hangar. You go to your pledges here. You go to your standalone ships. So we can look at my Super Hornet, which is like another one of my packages. Scroll down, scroll. It's really deep. I haven't bought a lot of ships recently, so... I think it's the Origin. I think I upgraded it. Yeah, so here it is. Here's my Super Hornet. So you see this gift button right here? Zellandross, you see that? That's how you do it. You click that as long as you have the other person's username and as long as you have their username and their email address, you can send it right to them. So you just gift the person the ship out of the goodwill of your heart, and then a couple days later, you know, you just happen to have, you know, another $300 in your PayPal account. But that's basically how it works, right? Is there anything else we need to talk about here? Oh yeah, they said it's going to have a gold standard pass, but again, like the Mark II hit the scene without its gold standard pass. I'm dubious. I mean, this is another thing I wanted to bring up is that sunsetting a ship is a good way of getting around having to, like, I'm hitting my joystick here. I'm talking with my hands too much. Sunsetting a ship is a good way of getting around the responsibility of having to, like, flesh the ship out more, of having to, like, you know, put a lot of work into the ship, because the ship's just not sold on the website. So we'll just do, like, the bare minimum of just slapping shit into it. And if the ship doesn't work properly after we sunset it, who gives a shit? Like, just upgrade to the Mark II. The Mark II works better, right? Yeah, if you want to get a Raven, you either have to get the code, or the Saber Raven. Not the Saber Thunderbird, like the actual Raven. You either had to have gotten the code from the hard drive, the Intel Optane hard drive, or you had to have, like, bought the account. You have to buy the whole account, because you can't... Once the code has been claimed, it's like, it's account bound. Super Siblings. Every pilot knows the F-Series excels in range and combat scenarios thanks to this role-specific variants. Anvil Aerospace can confirm that the Mark II editions of the formidable F-7CM, Super Hornet, F-7CS Ghost, F-7R Tracker will be introduced in the not-too-distant future. Got questions? Check out the Spectrum FAQ, which we just read. And Heritage Paint Collection for the ultimate collector. Commemorating the Hornet Mark I flying onto the sunset, these ex-service paint schemes are being made available for the public. From the 300th anniversary of the Marines becoming their own branch of the military to the 500th anniversary of Pax Humana and the formation of the Navy, these liveries pay proud homage to ships they once adorned. Pilots who have the Hornet Mark I in their hangar today, before today's announcement, will receive the complimentary Killian Blue paint as a thank you for the patronage. Honestly, like, this is kind of a crappier Invictus skin, this Killian Blue. I like this one. This nice, kind of silvery with, like, orange and red on it. Honestly, if it was silver with, like, all the orange instead of, like, the red on it, it would be fine. And this one's kind of like, eh. I guess this is the Marines paint job. They don't really tell you what these paint jobs are. At least I don't see on the webpage here. And so you can buy the... This is not like... What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... times 3. It's not 15 Hornets in the series, okay? This is like 5 Hornets with like 3 different paints per. They're just showing you off all the paints. And so you can buy all these guys for 125. You know, the Super Hornets. They're all War Bond, though, so I think they come with Invictus. Yeah, 120 months, so it's 10 years. They're all War Bond. So it's at least nice for them to give us 10 years. So if you want to buy all the Hornets plus the skins, and these are just the anniversary skins. So the Hornet Mark 1 has more skins than just this. And you guys got the standalone ILW. I'm surprised the Heartseeker's not in here. Yeah, where's the Heartseeker? Killian Blue. That's the Ironheart paint and the Corrin the Camo paint. I'm not quite sure which one of these paints is designed to celebrate, like, which one. I'm assuming this one's the Marine Celebration one, I guess. And that's it. That's the, it's kind of our update for where we're at with the Hornet Mark 1. And I think this is the Mark 1A we're seeing right here. But they're not selling the Mark 1A. There was a body kit for the Mark 1A they sold years ago. Yeah, here's the Mark 1A. There was a body kit they sold for the Mark 1A years ago. And they sold it for like Veterans Day back in 2015, 2014-ish, and they never sold it again. It was like for literally like 2 days. For $20, you can get a body kit that changed your Mark 1 Hornet, the F7C. It was before the the idea of a Mark 1 even existed. And change your F7C Mark 1 into an F7A Mark 1. So the C goes to an A. And with the release of the Mark II, they updated that so you can actually make that happen. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. Live on Twitch most days. Check out the social media for any updates or news on the channel. And thank you to all my Patreons for their support. I do appreciate it.